All right, what up, Who That Nation? This is No Cap, No Filter Saints. I'm your host, Marley G, and once again, we got my dog back on the show, man. What up, B, man? We like Vlad and Boosie at this point, bro.
What's good, brother? Back in the game, man. Just ready to talk Saints, bro.
Yeah, man. Let's go ahead on and get it in, man. We're gonna preview the Cowboys upcoming matchup with the Saints on Sunday. But before we get into that, let's go ahead on and get into this Saints beatdown of the Panthers, man. I'm gonna need your opinion on what you done seen in that game, and like tell me everything that you love seeing and everything that you think we could work on.
I think overall, man, it was a good game from all three phases. Offense, defense, special teams. They looked really really good. The only thing I would say to work on would be the pass rush. I mean, we saw a lot of almost getting them, little bit of pressure here and there, but Bryce Young was able to escape a whole lot, man, to get outside the pocket. Had he been just even a mid-tier quarterback, he would, that could have been dangerous, game-breaking plays against the Saints. But the pass rush is what scared me because it's like they almost got there, but once they lost, track and he kind of broke contain, man, it could have been an issue. So a Dak Prescott, a Jalen Hurts, Pat Mahomes, guys like that. If you don't get him on the ground, you don't get them on the ground, it could be a nightmare for the Saints. But other than that, man, it's hard to complain because, again, the secondary looked good. The linebackers look, were flying all over the place. And most importantly, the run game was there. We're set up the play action. And surprisingly, man, Derek Carr looked good out there.
Yeah, he did. He was very efficient, man.
I can't complain.
Yeah, that's all we ask for, man. Just be out there and be efficient. You ain't gotta go play hero ball. You ain't gotta just be an elite quarterback. Just be outside the top 10 playing quarterback. Just do what we ask you to do. And make the right reads. Throw timely balls. Don't throw no hospital balls. And just go manage the game. And that's exactly what he did. Only threw for 200, but those touchdowns he threw, they was beautiful, man. The pocket started collapsing on the Rashid. Long ball was a nice pitch. Nice pitch and catch right there and running. The escape about the pocket, get it to Foster Monroe, escape about the pocket, get it to Jawan Johnson. Nice passes, man.
Yeah, man, that one to Jawan especially. I mean, that was a dime, bro. I'm one of, Derek Carr's harshest critics. And I couldn't believe what the hell I was seeing yesterday. He actually looked competent. Now, I understand, for the life of me, the pushback has been, yeah, but it was just the Carolina Panthers. And I respect that opinion because, they were playing the worst team in the league. And we've seen Derek Carr play well against bad teams. We saw it all of last year. For the last 5 or 6 games, of the season, he played good against the bad teams. And he's really, really good when there's nothing on the line. So I understand the pushback on it. However, I may be, one of those kind of people, man, that that call it how I see it. So therefore, I got to give him his credit too. I like to talk about him when he's being bad. I'm gonna give him his credit when he's doing well. Yesterday was impressive, man. I mean, some of those passes, bro. He looked like he could be an elite quarterback in this system.
Yeah, man. You mentioned that one thing we could work on is the pass rush, getting to the quarterback. Alante Taylor, he racked up 3 sacks versus Bryce. Do you think a lot of teams, like when we send like cornerback blitzes, is that like due to like it being a mobile quarterback, or is it just something to throw a quarterback off, or can that be like we're not getting any rush from our ends?
I think it's more the last two than it has to do with the first part of it. I think the Saints weren't creating enough of a pass rush. I mean, guys were getting upfield, but it's like you're getting upfield to go nowhere. So They have to work on that, especially against the better quarterbacks. And I think, that's the reason why they sent Alante. I think they sent him because, it's a way to catch the quarterback off guard, and as well as the fact that, the pass rush not getting home. So if the pass rush ain't getting there, you might as well send an extra blitzer or 2 if you have to.
Yeah, man. What did you think about the safeties, man? A lot of people always said, through this offseason, man, what we're going to do at safety. That's why it was so much of an outrage when we didn't get Justin Simmons. But, Jordan Howden, he came up with a turnover. Will Harris, he came up with a turnover. Like, what are you seeing out that safety position unit?
Well, it kind of went how, we kind of thought it would. It was the idea of Will Harris, started and, was immediately, I mean, the first offensive drive for Carolina, he got an intercept and it's going the other way. I mean, if you're going to make plays like that, exactly, you're going to make plays like that as a free safety, then, Dennis Allen has a right to thump his chest a little bit and say, I told y'all I didn't need no Justin Simmons. But on the flip side of that, when it comes to Howard, man, it's like you had to go get Will Harris and you had to bring in Jonathan Abram because, Howard didn't show he could do it. Now, yesterday, again, it seemed like yesterday was Oprah. Everybody got something going good for him. It's like you get a turnover, you get a turnover, you get a touchdown, you get a touchdown. So it was all over the place, man. So to see guys like Jamal Williams get a touchdown, to see Jordan Howden get a pick, it's impressive because you're like, well, it means everybody getting into the swing. It's not impressive when you like, well, damn, if they scoring like that and they making big plays, then how bad is Carolina really? So how can we judge this one? So I mean, it's 6-1, half dozen in the other, but I'd rather be on the winning side.
Yeah, man. Everybody was getting they just do, man. Like you said, it was like Oprah out there. But I think the only guy who didn't really, do much was Chris Olave. I think he had like 2 catches for like 11 yards, but we still produced this amount of offense. Going forward, what do you think could be done with Chris Olave getting into the game plan more? Like I did hear that he was doing good when it comes to the pass blocking.
Yeah, look, man. I think the problem with Olave is he's great. And it's crazy to say that, but his greatness is actually hindering him because he is the number 1 receiver, because he is that elite. Well, defenses are going to shade themselves to him. So Olave may be double covered, but that's going to leave the backside open for Shaheed, and that's why Shaheed was able to get open like that. If anybody is going to beat you, you want to make sure it's not going to be Alvin Kamara and it's not going to be Chris Olave, because that's 2 dudes Taysom Hill is one of the ones as well, but that's 2 or 3 guys right there, man, that at any given time they touch the ball, it's good night. So if anything, Shaheed is going to beat me. A Foster Moreau is going to beat me. Juwan Johnson is going to beat me because I'm not going to let it be Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, or Taysom Hill. So to that extent, it's not that anything is wrong with Olave. It's exactly that he's great. They're watching him and going to double and triple cover him. So it's going to take some time for Shaheed to start beating people more often before they start realizing, okay, we can't shade towards Olave and now everything is open.
Yeah. Sure, we beat them pretty easily, man. I'm talking about like from beginning to end, we beat them with dominance. I always said that, fashion matters to me. I picked that team, losing to us. I thought it was going to be around 24-10. I just said 20-10, but I said if we do well against them, it'll be 24-10. And nobody expected 47-10. So I will give them credit for the fashion they beat them in, because I'm a guy that, how you lost, how did you win, who did you play? Like I'm all about that, and I got to give credit when it's due. Yes, it was the Panthers, but you beat them in very good fashion in all facets of the game, offense, defense, special team. The day was going so good, even Juwan Johnson had a block, which technically it wasn't because it went forward, but everything went our way, and I'm still on that fence where I gotta be shown more. Like, if they could go out there and they could go beat Dallas and then beat the Eagles, okay, I'm fully believing now. I'm fully thinking that, okay, this team turned a corner now. But you gotta go beat the good teams consistently on the road to redemption. Beating the good teams in a pattern, that's the road right there.
And that's where I stand with it as well, fam. It's the idea of, we saw this last year. We saw them beat throughout that last run that they had, to where everybody kind of always brag on how well the offense played. Well, you played 5 of the 6 worst teams in the NFL, and the only good team you saw during that stretch was the Los Angeles Rams, and they beat the brakes off of you. So, and I mean, the Rams, even though the score may not look like it, the Rams beat the Saints so bad, man. It was at one point that you thought the team was going to give up. Like they beat them from start to finish, and it was like when the game looked out of hand, the Saints kind of had a little spark, and they made the game, I want to say 30-23 or something like that. But that game was over long before that spark happened. That being said, it's exactly what we're talking about. The Saints can beat up on these bad teams. They can beat up on a bad Buccaneers team. They can beat up on a bad Carolina team. Beat up on a bad Falcons team. We know they can do that, and they showed it again this year. So if you're looking at it, 6 out of the last 7, the Saints have won. But they've been against all bad teams. Now let's see what they do, as you stated, against Dallas, against Philadelphia, against Kansas City. If they make some type of run through those games, then it's like you said, bro. I'm a believer, but you can't for as excited as I am, that they went out there and they did well because it's again, it's the way in which they went. You beat a bad team and you look bad doing it. I don't give you credit for it. So in this, the fact that they smoked Carolina, yeah, that's nice. But if you smoke Carolina, you get smoked by Dallas, then what?
Yeah, right back to the drawing board. And I said this, I said, man, the last week of the season, last year, in Pete Carmichael offense with Derek Carr, we put up 48-17 on the Falcons. So that game ain't that much different than this game to me. It's like, okay, we put up 48 with this bad Pete Carmichael offense, and that team was bad last year. So and it still left room for more to be seen. Right now, I feel like it's room for more to be seen. And if somebody want to call me a fair weather fan or a fake fan, I don't think that's the case. I just think that I came up with my prediction for this team. I had us at 9 wins as the ceiling. I had us at 8 and 9. And I said, man, they got to show me more. They got to show me more because history says otherwise. So I just feel like I'm calling it how I see it. I can only go by what I see. And from what I seen last year, we beat up on the bad teams and we lost to the good teams. So if they could show me a run right here with this Dallas game and this Phillies game, I'll be on board and I'll become a believer.
Yeah, I mean, until otherwise proven differently, this is all I do. I can cheer for them and be happy that they played well yesterday. I can also be like, well, that was Carolina. So it actually can, both can be true, and that's where we at now.
Yeah, because it's just such a line split in the fan base. Because I think I seen your boy. I think his name Payroll. He was like, yeah, man, that bald headed bearded dude, the dude with the lips, can't enjoy this win. I'm like, man, these dudes been saying all off season, go show me. That's all we doing. Show me. It don't make us a person that's hopping on a bandwagon. We just got to be proven wrong. Like, because one or two things gonna happen. We're gonna be like, okay, well, this is exactly what we thought. And on the other hand, if things go wrong, the people who are so optimistic gonna be like, damn, this is exactly what we thought. Either way it goes, somebody gonna have to come to a result.
I mean, and it could be a third option, which is somewhere in the middle, because that's why I have the Saints. I have the Saints as somewhere in the middle. I don't think they're going to be bad enough to be picking in the top part of the draft, and I don't think they're going to be good enough to make it to the Super Bowl. So normally it lies somewhere in the middle. So if they are 7-10, 8-9, 9-8, then that's kind of where I thought they would be.
Right. Yeah, man. That's just the epitome of being mid, just stuck in mediocre purgatory. But as far as that game go, man, I really feel like I credit them for winning in dominant fashion. But if you could go beat Dallas and if you could go beat Eagles, I will give you credit and say you turned the corner. I'll shut up. Everybody know I hate Dennis Allen. When it comes to Derek Carr, I don't hate him as much as other people do. I'm looking at the top. I'm looking at the top of the chain, and it's Dennis Allen. So if they could go out there and go beat them two good teams who poised for playoffs, then I'll change my tune. But even like I say, fashion matters. Let's just say we beat Dallas, but let's just say we lose to the Eagles. But let's just say we lose to the Eagles respectively. I'll be like, okay, they heading in the right direction. But if they beat both of these teams, I don't care how you beat them. You ain't got to beat them in dominant fashion. As long as you come out there with a win, to me, you get credit.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, look, to lose to Dallas next week is not the end of the season. Yeah. But it's a good indicator of exactly what we thought. If you lose to Dallas and Philly, then we right back where we started from, because it appears to be the same situation. It's the idea of, we know you'll beat the bad teams or you'll play to competition, but can you take the step up? And if they can't, then I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's exactly what we thought about who the Saints would be. On the flip side of that, man, you got the fans right now who believed in Carr and Dennis Allen pounding their chest right now, being like, we told y'all, kind of like you said about payroll, saying like, well, certain people can't enjoy this win. I have never understood why fans believe they can police other fans. That shit is hilarious. If the Saints are able to win a Super Bowl this ring, I guarantee you, the fans who were supporting Dennis Allen and Derek Carr the whole time won't get a Super Bowl ring. They're not getting one. Just like the fans that said, nah, you got to prove it to me, they're not getting one. So why does it matter what type of fan I am to you? I never knew.
They gonna be
just let me be me.
that viral Drake video when the Toronto Raptors had won, or they had went to the championship or won, and Drake was like, "Yeah, you wasn't here, you wasn't here, you wasn't here."
Yeah.
They're gonna be looking, but yeah, man, that Panthers game, man. Like I say, man, winning in dominant fashion, I give them their card. But let's talk about this Cowboys game, and then we're gonna go ahead on and get into some questions of everybody in the chat. Like, if y'all got any questions for Bryan, we're gonna go ahead on and get into it as soon as possible. We're gonna talk about this Cowboys game first. This Cowboys game. What are your thoughts, man? First of all, like when it comes before we even get into the rosters, I'm looking at Mike McCarthy versus Dennis Allen. I'm looking at Mike Zimmer versus Clint Kubiak. What's your thoughts?
I think that's a wash. Actually, advantage says I believe it's better play.
Breaking up a little bit.
I will give Dennis Allen hell as a head coach.
Okay.
My fault, fam. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you good.
Am I better, Maul?
Yeah.
All right, bet, man. My apologies, bro. But yeah, man. I was saying I think Dennis Allen is a better play caller than Mike McCarthy. Dennis Allen, the head coach, catch hell from me. But Dennis Allen, one of the elite.
Okay. Yeah, you was breaking up a little bit again.
Right, Mike McCarthy and Mike.
Yeah. Give him a minute to get right.
How we good?
Yeah, you good. We can hit a road.
What about not, G?
The road.
Now?
I mean, I can hear your voice. You can still hit a road in the background, but I think that should be fine. It's better than better than going breaking up.
Yeah, I'm gonna click it back. I'm gonna click the headphones back on, bro. But man, when you out here, bro, especially when you're around mountains, man, you at the mercy.
I think you're good right now, because if you click the headphones back on, I think it's gonna probably potentially go in and out again. But I think you're good right now with the background.
I bet. So what I was saying is, man, I like Dennis Allen and Clint Kubiak over Mike McCarthy and Mike Zimmer. I just think Dennis Allen is better at what he does, and I think Clint Kubiak, those two are a wash. So it's advantage Saints, slight advantage, but advantage Saints as far as coaching is concerned. I don't know about personnel.
Yeah, what about personnel? Like when it comes to the matchups, we seen the Cowboys take on the best defensive in the league. And the Cowboys, they went up into Cleveland and they beat them people, bro. I don't know if it was just because of Deshaun Watson and they going 3 and out and they getting the defense tired, but it looked like they was even being able to run the ball on them and everything. Like Zeke and even look old to me. So what do you think when it comes to personnel? You already know they got Michael Parsons. You already know they got DeMarcus Lawrence. Like, how do you see this matchup going?
I think this could be I think this could be the game that humbles the Saints or catapults them, because yesterday, bro, DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons had 15 pressures between the two of them on the quarterback, bro. 15 between just the two of them. 9 for Micah Parsons, 6 for DeMarcus Lawrence. I'm like, how do you deal with that, bro? Especially because we already know there's a weak link on the offensive line that got away with it yesterday because we ain't had to worry about no elite pass rusher. But this time he gonna be getting his ass kicked all game because Micah Parsons gonna line up right across from him. Then when they get tired of that, they gonna tag team DeMarcus Lawrence in there so he can have some fun. I mean, this is gonna be the game that make or breaks them.
Yeah, man, and they pretty much neutralized Myles Garrett. Chase Young, he didn't record a sack or anything, but he did get a lot of pressure. Like he was, doing a lot of the dirty work that don't show up in the box score. So how do you think they're going to be able to contain Chase? And they're kind of familiar with Chase because he used to be in the division. And he was on the 49ers team that beat them. Well, no, I don't think Chase.
I think
Go ahead.
I think that's the problem with the team. It's the idea of against the Carolina Panthers, who have a horrible offensive line and is rebuilding. We didn't see the Saints make a lot of noise as far as their front four. We didn't hit it. We saw them almost get there. We saw a little bit of hurry ups, but we ain't see no real pressure. We ain't see no sacks take place that was outside of Alante for the most part. So I'm worried, man. I'm worried that Cowboy offensive line might have their way with the Saints D line. Now if Dennis Allen can manufacture some pressure by dropping Alante and maybe bringing Honey Badger or flip flopping them out, maybe bringing both at certain times. I think the Saints will be able to get some pressure, but it won't come from the front four.
Well, going into this game, they're already not going to have Bland, Pro Bowl cornerback, led the league in picks last year, I believe. Right now they're not going to have their tight end Ferguson. I think the Saints could take advantage of that right there. Ferguson, I think he was Dak Prescott's second favorite target last year. He made the Pro Bowl too at the tight end spot right after CD Lamb. So, I think the Saints got a good matchup when it comes to shutting them down on their offense. I think it's going to be a defensive slugfest.
I'm gonna say this. I think the Cowboys defense, as far as their complete personnel, might be a little bit overrated. It's kind of like a feast or famine thing. They kind of remind me of the 2009 Saints defense. If you look at them statistically, they wasn't that good, but they caused so many turnovers, it made your image of them switch out a lot. And I think that's kind of what the Cowboys are, except they do have two elite, and I mean elite pass rushers on their side of the ball. I just don't know. I think that would be more damaging than a secondary part of it. I think as far as the Saints being able to take advantage of, not having to worry about the tight end, I don't know. I think that's going to come down to who's starting next week. Is it Jordan Howden or is it going to be Will Harris again? If Will Harris is out there, I feel a lot more comfortable. There's something about Howden that makes me feel like at some point, if he has to play, he going to be if there's a blown coverage in the secondary, that's going to be the weak link.
So let's just say Marshawn, let's just say he kind of dealing with the hammy issue throughout the week. Do we just go ahead on and put Debo on CeeDee Lamb? And I really feel like we could put almost anybody on Brandon Cooks. And I think as far as their run game, I think we could shut their run game down. I don't know if Delvin Cook going to be activated, but I'm pretty confident us slowing down Zeke.
I think they can slow down Zeke to some extent. I think that's going to depend on the offense. If the Saints offense isn't good in this game, the Saints defense is going to suffer for it, because you're going to have to be able to let the defense get their break. I know the Cowboys and Zeke are older, as far as Zeke being an old running back and stuff like that, where the Saints have one of those. In fact, the Saints got 3 of those on the roster, so we can't really look down on them. But with that being said, what the Cowboys have done is rebuild their offensive line. So it's going to be a constant ground and pound type of attack, to where at some point you're going to wear the defense down. And then there's the back-breaking part of having the Cowboys on 3rd and 9 when you finally do something well, and Dak Prescott takes off for 10 yards and extends the drive. That right there is what we're wondering. That's the X factor in the game. Cowboys running game. Then when they start doing play action and it's starting to get open, and the Saints actually do a good job on the back end, what happens when Dak breaks contain?
Well, he do have two other pair of tight ends. I think his name's Schoonmaker and Hendershot. Like, those guys can make plays, but I mean they do have a good offensive line. They got Deuce Vaughn out there in the backfield. They got some players, but I really just think our defense could. That gonna really prove to me that he earned his contract when he come to this Saints defense. To me, like, he gonna really prove it. Like, and Derek Carr gonna have to prove that he got that contract he earns when it comes to that Dallas defense. So it's gonna be a fun matchup. I really got this as a defensive slugfest, maybe like a 24-17 type of game, 24-14 type of game. What's your score prediction?
I think it's actually going to be higher scoring. I think this is going to be one of those, 31-27 type of games, man. Maybe, 34-31. It could get up into the 30s. I think both teams are capable of putting up points on the other team. I think the difference between the Saints and the Cowboys is that the Cowboys offense has been, elite. The Saints defense has been elite, but the Cowboys pass rush can get home on the Saints, and I don't know if the Saints pass rush can get home. And I think that's the difference. I think that's going to be the make or break part of it. If Fuaga and Penning can hold up, that's the basically the game in and of itself is those matchups on the outside.
And speaking of Fuaga and Penning, what did you think about them in their matchup versus the Panthers? A lot of people were saying the Panthers was having a good defensive line. They have some good players. Yes, they lost Brian Burns and Frank Louisville, but overall they still a pretty good stout defense. Like, did Trevor Penning impress you?
No, no, neither one of them did, to be honest. Like, but I'm gonna give him credit where it's due. It was the idea of we didn't have to hear about him. Penning got, I believe he got one penalty the entire game, and he might have missed like 2 blocks to allow pressure. But that's to be expected. I mean, we're talking about the NFL where the elite of the elite is going at each other. So, I mean, I'm not mad at Penning, at his game. I don't believe in it either. Same thing with Talley. I mean, I think he has the talent to be a good left tackle, but it's you played a team in which I can't gauge how good you are versus the team, how bad the team it is you played. They did what they were supposed to. They beat a bad team.
Measuring stick. Like, this Cowboy game is a measuring stick. Like I said, even if we lose this game, that was a good measuring stick. If we lose in a respectable way, like we lose by a field goal and we was in it that whole game, we ain't had to do no rally and come back or nothing like that to make the score look more skewed than what the game was. It'll be a respectable loss. I could live with that. But I really think this is gonna be the matchup, man. We got Clint Kubiak. He was on that Vikings team as the offensive coordinator. Mike Zimmer was the defensive minded head coach. Mike Zimmer, he's been known to give even Sean Payton fits when it comes to preparing for his offense. By them being around each other, you think any one of them has a slight edge?
Maybe I would say maybe Clint has the edge because Clint had, he kind of might know Mike's tendencies or whatever like that. But when you're the offensive coordinator, you always have a head coach that can overrule you, which what I think is funny because word is that Dennis Allen was told that, just follow my game plan and basically don't deviate unless you ask me. So I don't know if Mike Zimmer is that type. If for it to be like whatever Clint said was gonna go. I don't know if that's the case. But on the flip side of that, because Clint had to call plays according to the way Mike wanted to run an offense, I don't know if Mike has an advantage there. I would say maybe advantage Clint, and it's a slight advantage, if any. But I think I think it's gonna be a hell of a chess match.
Well, the Cowboys, they're very familiar with that offensive scheme that the 49ers was running, and they ran into the best of the ability with the best of the best out there. Maybe you can argue and say the Dolphins got the best of the best, but for the most part, it ain't like they're gonna be going into something and they don't see it coming. Like, Mike Zimmer gonna know exactly what's going on. Now Mike Zimmer went on them teams beforehand. It was Dan Quinn, but who knows? Maybe Mike Zimmer might have a better game plan for this type of scheme. And just by it being the Saints, personnel versus the 49ers, maybe they'd be like, well, if we had a hard time with them, but we would still be able to keep up with them. Maybe the Saints ain't gonna just be that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Saints personnel-wise are not a bad team. I think there's a lot of pieces that you can look at and be like, I can see if they were a winning team, I could see why they win because they have these pieces. I can understand that. You look at the Saints personnel, and you got Taysom Hill, who's a game changer, Alvin Kamara, game changer, Olave, Rashid Shaheed, all of these game changers. So it's really a matter of it's a piece or two here and there offensively that can they make enough plays to stop Dallas? If Jawan Johnson and Foster Moreau are having good games, the Saints are probably winning. Most importantly, I think the Saints have to stay away from a high volume game for Derek Carr. If Derek Carr throws the ball 30 or more times, the Saints losing that game. I'd be more than willing to bet that they, it's a game in which they lost. And if they didn't win, it's one of those, rare blue moon events to where they threw the ball 31 times or 35 times and Derek Carr and the Saints got a big win. I don't see it happening. I think Derek Carr needs to be right around where he was yesterday if the Saints are going to be a winning team. And that's why, I say personnel-wise, it's going to be hard to judge on whether or not the Saints will be able to capitalize without their offensive line, being able to hold up against the Dallas Cowboys. They got to find a way to hold up against that pass rush.
All right, so around 25 pass attempts is the sweet spot for Carr. Because last week, a couple of days ago, I think he had 23 pass attempts. So you're saying
23 attempts. Anything over 25 attempts gets the Saints into more trouble. I want to say something like if it's between 20 and 25 attempts, then the Saints probably have more maybe like an 85% chance or 80% chance of winning that game. That's going to depend on turnovers and stuff like that. Because if Derek Carr throw the ball 23 times like he did yesterday, but Kamara fumbles 4 times, then of course the game changes. But just based on Derek Carr, if they throw the ball, if it's 23 times a game, that's the sweet spot for him. If it goes from 25 to 30, meaning that if it's 27-28, the chances drop dramatically. Now you got about a 35% chance of winning the game. Anything over 30 times a game, and that boy in trouble. Because you can't count on Derek Carr to throw the ball that many times to win you a game. That's not how he plays. That's not his game at all.
All right, this is the most viewers we had in the chat before. Go ahead on and hit that like button if y'all liking the content. We got 26 people watching right now. If you got any questions for Bryan, go ahead on and put your question down in the chat. We're gonna get to it as soon as possible. I'm gonna ask him one more question, then we're gonna just get to all you guys' questions. If you got a question for Bryan, put it down in the chat. We're gonna get to it as soon as possible. Bryan, one more last question before we let the chat get the answer asking you their questions. What's three key things the Saints need to do to come out with a win in Dallas?
Pray. Pray after you pray again that they can block, Lawrence and Micah Parsons, and then after that, play keep away. The easiest way for the Saints to win that game is to not give Dallas the ball.
Not giving Dallas the ball is to us have a good run game.
It's gonna help. Play good solid football, man. As far as play the way Dennis Allen wants to play. Play a game in which you win the time of possession by a wide margin. You capitalize on the idea of when it's 3rd and 1, you got to make those conversions. You got to win 3rd down. And I think again, play keep away. If you can do that, if you can keep Dallas's defense on the field and wear them down, then you increase your chances of winning. You try to play a shootout, you might as well go ahead on and just pack up and go ahead on home now.
Yeah, man, they definitely gonna have to get Taysom Hill going. They definitely gonna have to get Alvin Kamara going. I think
this should be a game with a 3-headed monster.
Yeah,
this should be a 3-headed monster game. It should be Taysom, it should be Jamal, it should be AK. You run them boys into the ground until their legs fall off.
Yeah. I agree, man. That's gonna be the easiest way, though. That's gonna be the easiest way. Let's go ahead on and get to the first question. Rose City asks, who gonna be on AK in space? Because I don't see a linebacker sticking with AK from Dallas.
That's an advantage. That's an advantage, Saints. They don't have anybody. So what their best bet to do is drop a safety. Which that's what I was talking about earlier. If you can force them to do something that they don't want to do, like try to line up a safety on AK instead, then now you have an advantage because now that back end, you're missing one safety. They play a cover 2, so you're missing one safety. Now you got to worry about 2 people trying to go with Olave and float with him, and you giving Shaheed one-on-one. That's a bad combination. So, I mean, if you can get lucky enough to where they got to drop a safety and do that one-on-one, you're going to pick your poison all game long, and that's going to open it up for the Saints, as far as, going downfield. They got to hit those passes when they're there.
All right. Y'all put y'all questions down in the chat. We're going to get to them as soon as possible. Put y'all questions for Bryan down in the chat. Anything you want to ask some Saints related. Jerry asks, Bryan, we will see an encore Sunday over the Cowgirls.
Say it again.
He asks, Jerry G asks, Bryan, will we see an encore Sunday over the Cowgirls?
Man, I hope so. But this would be one of the games I probably picked the Saints to lose. I did in the offseason. I'm gonna do it now. Until I see Fuaga and Penning win their matchup against an elite pass rush, I can't give it to them. I gotta see it to happen. I'm not gonna get excited when I know Carolina had me out there rushing the passer. Fuaga and Penning did what they were supposed to do. You finally had a matchup you can win. And don't get me wrong, I know Clint schemed the hell out of that one, but it's still the idea. There was nobody there for you to out scheme. Carolina didn't have anybody.
Yeah, man. I even think players themselves, I don't think they be saying, oh yeah, man, it's the NFL. We all professionals, man. They could possibly. I think they'd be like, man, we better not lose to these niggas. That's what I really think. I really believe that same way. In front
of a camera, they'll tell you something different, but behind the scenes, they'll tell you, man, we would have lost that game. Would have been pissed off.
Yeah, they, in front of that camera, they're gonna say the politically correct thing, but they human. They think just like us. They know who what the food chain is. Millie asks, should Bub Memes and A.T. Perry be out there? We need big body wide receivers.
I think AT should be back this week. He was hurt last week. He must have hurt his hand in camp or something like that. It wasn't significant. He probably like jammed his fingers or something like that, but he couldn't grip the ball. So AT was out last week. This week he should be back, and yes, he should be counted on. Bub is a dude that remind me of Debo. Don't get me wrong. I'm not comparing him to Debo. He just remind me of that. His frame remind me of that. It seemed like he can kind of play that same type of style that Kyle Shanahan wants. I'm sorry, that Mike McCarthy. Damn, I'm all over the place, man. Clint Kubiak wants to run when it comes to, kind of being his version of what Kyle Shanahan has in Debo. I think Bub can kind of be the same type of player, but yeah, they'll be out there this week. I just don't think they're gonna make enough plays because this is a game where you need your heavy hitters to be your heavy hitters.
Right.
You don't pinch in for Aaron Judge on this one.
Oh no. Justin asks, will Dak throw a pick this week?
I'm gonna say yeah, but I don't think it's gonna be like a clean pick if that makes any sense. It might be off a tip pass, but yeah, I do.
Okay, I think Carr and Dak throw a pick. Now, if Carr throw a pick to Diggs, that's like, God damn, this motherfucker just really a magnet out there. But yeah. I got both of them throwing a pick a piece this game, and then Dallas, they playing that in they stadium where it's like half the field shaded, and I think it's hard to see, and the other half got like that glare or something.
Yeah.
Like that. I think they got like that advantage right there. But Lou Too Smooth, this dude right here is very optimistic Saints fan. He say we got the best offense, we got the best wide receiver unit, and we going to the Super Bowl. Boy, he's one of the most optimistic Saints fans I ever met. But he says, do you believe Chris Olave is a true number one?
No, but I think he is not there yet. I think he can be.
Okay. What all he needs to do to get there, I guess. He's got to learn how to beat. He got to learn how to beat his man like off the break. Like sometimes I be feeling like, man, Olave is more like finesse than he is power, and I understand that because he's a smaller dude. But I want to see him be able to be like kind of like, man, when they're doing that hand fighting and stuff, man, get his ass out the way, man. Kind of like, get your hands off me and beat this man off the press and then smoke him. And now he got to do way better at contested catches. Way better at contested catches. But I think he has the ability to do it, man. Sometimes I think he remind me of Brandon Cooks in the idea of before closed mouths don't get fed. That's kind of the mentality you have to have, but not the attitude. Yeah. Yeah, man, I agree. Let's see. Let Bryan know Chris Olave will prove he's a number one wide receiver after this week going against Trayvon. That's my bold prediction. Ooh, getting bold predictions up in here. If y'all got any questions for Bryan, go ahead on and put your questions down in the chat. We're gonna get to it as soon as possible. Any questions about the Saints, go ahead on and get to it and put your questions down. And if y'all liking the content, y'all go ahead on and hit that like button. Let's see. KB504 says, what's good, fellas? Just started watching the stream. Do you think the offensive line can protect Carr and will be able to run the ball effectively?
I think if they say a couple of Hail Marys, that might be the type of protection he get. Other than that, no. No.
Yeah, man. You just getting in the stream. Bryan really feels, that team right there elite when it comes to those ends. They got Michael Parsons on one side, you got DeMarcus Lawrence on the other side. It's gonna be a tough day. This ain't gonna be the Panthers, bro. Like they ain't gonna just be going 3 and out, and the defense just gonna be tired like that. We're gonna have to see, bro. We're gonna have to see. We got another question from Millie. He says, "Do you think Olave is more like Amon-Ra St. Brown?" Bryan?
My bad.
Yeah, we got Millie asked another question. He said, "Do you think Olave is more like Amon-Ra St. Brown?"
I think that's a great comparison. I think that's probably what he is right now, because like even with St. Brown, he a number one, but he's not really a number one. They just waiting on Jameson to get right, and that'll be a number one. But Amon-Ra is number one right now. I think that's kind of what Olave is, and I think I said it earlier. I don't think Olave is not a good player. I think he's great. I think the problem is that he is great. He is the number one, so they're gonna shade the defense to stop him, which leaves Olave 1-on-1. I'm sorry, Shaheed.
Your audio seeming like a little raspy right there. It wasn't breaking up or nothing. It was just raspy. I don't know whatever you just did, but it was raspy right there. Say he think he underwater. Yeah, man. Y'all got to excuse Bryan with the audio. He a truck driver, man. He be still joining my stream and doing what I should when I ask him, even while he at work. So y'all get a man a little grace. I'll give him a little grace. But me personally, Amon St. Rob Brown, I haven't watched him like that, but I think he's a pretty tough guy. I think he get a lot of yards after the catch. Me personally, I think Olave is like another Tyler Lockett to me. I think he's like another Devontae Smith. Like if I had to compare him to somebody, I'll compare him to them two guys. You know, he's very good when it comes to route running. I like his silky smooth route running. I just think he got to get better when it comes to yards after the catch, contested catches, stuff like that. Just getting, you know, showing more of his dominance. But if he's a finesse guy, he's a finesse guy. I mean, he is who he is. Like he ain't gonna just become a Steve Smith, you know. Just because you that size don't mean everybody gonna be like a Steve Smith. So everybody different. Let's see. We got Justin says, what if the Saints win by 10? If the Saints win by 1, that's good. Just go out there and go beat a good team. Go beat a team that's poised for playoff contention. Like, and to me, the Panthers, you know, they just not good. But I do credit them on beating them in dominant fashion. But if they win by 1 point, you beat a good team. Get up out there with a win. And you did it on the road. Get up out there with a win. Go back home and wait on Philly. So.
Man, if the Saints win by 10, I'm gonna be insufferable because I ain't see it happening. I ain't see it happening, and I'm gonna be honest about that, bro. I reluctantly, you know, say that if I'm proven wrong, I'm gonna be out there jumping for joy because I don't see a path for them to beat the Cowboys. It would have to be one of those games in which the Cowboys, you know, looked at the Saints kind of like we supposed to look at the Panthers, like, oh, this is just an easy W, and because of that. They get a little too cocky, get a little too conceited. They go ahead on and they don't play as hard as they should. They get beat. That's a little bit different. But if the Saints go out there and really whip the Cowboys and beat them by 10, I'm gonna be insufferable because I didn't see it. I see no realistic path to a Saints win.
I mean, for me, if they beat the Cowboys, no matter how they beat them, I would say they trending in the right direction. Now, if they beat the Eagles, I'm gonna be on board and I'm gonna say, yeah, I believe in this team. I think they could do more than what I expected this year. You know,
and I'm gonna do the exact opposite because it obviously whatever the hell I said is working because they out to prove me wrong. So I'm gonna keep on slandering their asses. I'm gonna go ahead on and keep the trend going. Just understand that this is a recorded program. So if they start winning, I need to let it be known I'm gonna keep slandering them, even if I believe the complete opposite. I'm gonna keep the good karma going.
Hey, sometimes people believe that bullying works, but
hey, man.
We got Lou says, I just want to know how the Cowboys can possibly beat us. Our secondary is better than their receivers, and Zeke damn sure not beating us.
I'm gonna answer that very easily. One, Marshawn Lattimore's not playing, and if he is, you know, he got to hand it. Like
your audio a little raspy, B.
I know it's this. I'm better now, fam.
Talk a little bit more.
I'm better now.
That still sound a little raspy.
It's killing me, bro. It's killing me.
I mean, just try to put it back on your headset. You know, probably could try it like that. But yeah. Let me know when you get it right. But I'm gonna cover this question while you fixing that. But let me see. You say our secondary is better than their receivers, and Zeke damn sure not beating us. I mean, when it comes to that, our secondary, yes, I think our secondary could blanket their receiver, but it all go back to the quarterback and the head coach when it comes to me. Like, I think that as a head coach, Mike McCarthy is better than
Good, Mo.
Damn.
I'm good, brother.
Right. Yeah, I can hear you real clear now.
All right, man. My bad, bro.
All right, back to Lou question. I was gonna take it over, but I'm gonna let you go ahead on and get it. He said, I just want to know how the Cowboys can possibly beat us when our secondary is better than their receivers and Zeke damn sure not beating us.
Well, one is Marshawn not playing, and if he does play, he's going to be hobbled out there because it's a hamstring, and Marshawn been having hamstring injuries since college. So that's one way in which there's an advantage for them because you could put Kool-Aid out there, and I mean he might play well for a rookie, but being able to go out there and stop one of the NFL's top receivers is a hard job for a rookie. You put Paulson on him, and I still think Brandon Cook's going to eat on the other side because again we're talking about a rookie. So and Alante in a slot, and that's not changing no time soon. So do I think the Saints have an advantage as far as having a better secondary than the Cowboys receiver group? If Marshawn was healthy, yeah, but he's not. As far as Zeke being able to beat them, I mean, like sometimes again, I know people be optimistic, but don't fool yourselves into thinking that what we saw last week was going to be every week. Them days is long gone. Now, is it possible they pull it off? Of course, it's possible they could beat the Cowboys. Anything is possible like that when it comes to sports, but is it likely? No. And the reason why it's likely because the Cowboys have something that they can lean on as of right now. They can lean on their offensive line and they can lean on their pass rush. The Saints don't have that. The Saints can lean on what exactly? Can't tell me it's going to be the offensive line. They're still trying to figure it out. Can't tell me it's going to be the pass rush. Still trying to figure it out. The only thing you have is a strong secondary and one of your pieces is missing. That's how.
And another thing they can lean on is Dak Prescott. Like, say what you want about Dak Prescott, that man is a good quarterback. Does he show up in the playoffs? No. But it's a lot of good players that just don't have a good playoff run. And, but they have a good season. Like, that's like going up against James Harden in the season. Like, you can't just count out James Harden in the regular season. In the playoffs, that's a different story. But Millie asks, Shaq David can be a diamond in the rough. What y'all think?
Has anybody seen Shaq Davis actually play?
Now, I ain't gonna lie. Last season, I was high on Shaq Davis in the preseason. I thought that he was doing good. Like, he was making a lot of contested catches. But when you go from one team to another team, and then you still having problem making the full 53 or just getting a starting position, and you can't beat out guys like Cedric Wilson, Bub Memes, A.T. Perry. When you can't beat out these guys, then you're just not on a level. So I was wrong on that.
I get like I always get a kick out of when fans like find this undrafted free agent diamond in the rough that they love, and they always want to prop them up like they're somebody bigger than that. I'm gonna give y'all a couple of names. Shantavius Jones. You might not remember him from because from being on the Saints roster because he didn't really play that much, and he didn't play that much because in practice, that boy was a walking highlight reel. In preseason, didn't look bad when he had his little spot, his little spot images until the lights came on. And then the lights came on and boom, that nigga disappeared. He was no longer seen or heard from. Emmanuel Butler. Oh my God, that was everybody's sweetheart. Oh, they loved him. Undrafted dude. He gonna come in here and ball out. Where you at now? The boy probably bagging groceries or selling insurance. So sometimes I think fans get excited behind these undrafted dudes because we've seen it happen a few times. We've seen the Lance Moores make the roster. We've seen dudes like that, Willie Snead and stuff like that. But you got to remember for every Willie Snead, they probably got about 4 dudes just like that ain't even make it. And I'm talking about on a Saints roster alone. So now, man, y'all got to calm down with this. Shaq Davis might be a diamond in the rough. What the hell has he done? Have you even seen him play? Just one snap. Let me know what you've seen on one snap that he played that made you be like, man, that boy could be a diamond in the rough. What the hell has he ever done?
Yeah. Brandon Coleman, another name. And it was another guy like Brandon Coleman. He was like a 6'5", big monster, Megatron built type dude too. He ain't never really do much. And I think another part to that is I think fans want to be the first person to be on somebody. Like, man, I've been on him. I've been told y'all he was going to be good before everybody even knew who they was. I think it's that first to it type thing, that soldier boy mentality. Let's see. If Cleveland had a running game, that game would have been closer. Washington threw 45 times. That's not how you win. Yeah, man. I agree, man. And it looked like they're trying to get up out of that contract right now because all of a sudden you got pieces popping up and all that. Like, oh man.
Yeah, they're trying to put that one out of commission, man. They're trying to go with Jameis. And I said that though. I said when we was doing our before the season predictions, I said it's going to depend on what happened up in Cleveland because I feel like at some point in the year Jameis going to start, whether that be poor play or injury. I didn't think it was going to catch another case.
Let's see. Black Preacher Man says, salute. I appreciate the talk. I don't want Saints overtime. Have always played the Cowboys tough. Will this game be a grudge match?
No, I mean I don't like Cowboy fans, but I don't really consider nothing a real grudge match. Not to mention that, but it's like, what is that to really, I guess, plant the seed for a grudge match like that? We don't have nothing whole, kind of combining the two teams. It ain't like Mike McCarthy, was the former coach of the Saints or whatever like that, got fired, got hired by Dallas, and now you got something to hold on to. There's really nothing there. I just think most Saints fans don't like Cowboy fans because of Cowboy fans, which by default makes you hate the Cowboys. But there's nothing really there to kind of be like, I hate them for a different reason other than that. Like the Cowboys ain't won a championship in almost 30 years. Like there's nothing there for me to have to worry about.
Well, I think he was just talking about we play them tough every time we do see them, but the last game we played them, I think we lost. I think Andy Dalton or Jameis Winston was playing out there. No, I think Taysom was playing because I remember him throwing the ball to Hardy, and Hardy scored that touchdown late in the game, but the game was already over. But I mean, yeah, we used to play them tough, and that mainly when Drew Brees was there, Teddy Bridgewater. It'd be a rough game on both sides, but they done got the best of us sometimes. Sometimes we get the best of them. But I always heard that Snow, I think he pulled up the stats, and I think he said over the last like 10 years or so, every time we match up with them, we beat them the majority of the time. So I guess that sparked a little rivalry too. We got 32 people in the chat right now watching. If y'all liking the content, go ahead on and hit the like button. If you got any question for Bryan, go ahead on and put it down in the chat. We're going to get to it as soon as possible. Any question about this Panthers game that we just played? Any question about the upcoming Cowboys game? Go ahead on and put it down in the chat, or just the Saints in general. Any Saints questions, go ahead on and put it down in the chat. We're going to get to it as soon as possible. We're trying to be interactive on the show, man. Trying to get y'all voices heard too, man. Look at that. We got a Cowboys fan up in here. Let's see. We lost by 10 the last time we played them. Yeah, man, I remember because I think Taysom Hill had played because I think somebody was injured. I think it was James was injured or something. I forgot. Jerry says, remember in 2009 when the Saints went 13-0, lo and behold, our first loss was to the Cowboys. Yeah, I remember that, man. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I wanted us to lose that game though, because I don't want to. I want to go into the playoffs with being a little mad. Like, I don't want no perfect season. I'm gonna
tell you what that game did for the Saints. The Saints could have actually had an undefeated season. I shit you not. I don't say that as a Saints fan. I say that as a realist. What happened was DeMarcus Ware, that DeMarcus, wasn't supposed to play in that game. The Cowboys kept saying all week he wasn't going to play. They was listing him as out. Game day, that boy came in. And Sean Payton had nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing game plan against DeMarcus Ware. Because of that, he never, ever went into a game believing that the other team's best player wasn't going to play. He game planned every game after that, as if no matter who they said was out would be in. It taught Sean Payton a valuable lesson, and it taught the Saints a lesson as well. That's a loss that you learn from. So yeah, I mean it was a bad loss because it wrecked the undefeated season, but it was necessary because Sean really did believe DeMarcus wasn't playing, and it bit him in the ass badly. That boy, he damn near won that game by himself, and the Saints still had a chance to win. Never dropped a touchdown.
Yeah, man. If y'all got any questions, man, go ahead on and put y'all questions down in the chat. We're gonna get to it as soon as possible, man. Speaking of like we talking about division and things of that nature. Let's talk about the Falcons and the Buccaneers, man. What did you see about the Falcons and the Bucs week 1, man?
I think the Falcons got exposed for the team that they really are. That everybody's preseason favorite and preseason darling to go out there and win the NFC South by a wide margin, and and basically disrespecting any other team in the division because the Falcons got Kirk Cousins of all people. I think that was asinine, and it bit them. It bit them right where it should have. And I don't think it's over with. I think Atlanta going to lose again next week as well because they play Philly next week. So I think they're going to start the season 0-2, and then you'll see a bunch of people start backtracking. I think if the Bucs win next week, and I want to say they got an easy game next week. If they win next week, then I think they start off 2-0. people will kind of jump on that Tampa bandwagon, being like, see, Tampa was smart because they didn't touch anything, and they kind of just ran the same team back and just gave Baker Mayfield an extension. That they're gonna look like the smart ones in the division, but a lot of that can change if the Saints are able to beat Dallas. So for me, I think the Falcons are fool's gold. They're gonna continue to be that, and I think the Buccaneers are quiet. They're gonna go about their business with everybody talking about everybody else. If the Saints can win this game against the Cowboys, we'll see the national media jump, on a bandwagon.
Yeah, man. On the power rankings, we beat the Panthers. We went up only one spot, I believe. I think we went from 25 to 24 or 24 to 23, something like that. And the Bucks, they beat the Commanders, and I think they jumped like 6 spots. So like on the power rankings, they got them ranked 6, something like that. Like, is it a 6? I know they somewhere in the top 10, but I said, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. But that whole list is just funny to me because they got the Bears like at number 12 or something, or 13. Like, how you put the Bears that high? Like, what they done to just get that high? But when it comes to the Falcons, a lot of people were pointing out the injury with Kirk Cousins. Like, the injury that he sustained is actually like a 10 to 12 month recovery time. I think we're in the 10th month right now, so they was doing a lot of passes out of shotgun. They wasn't doing a lot of play action. They was zooming in on his legs, and it looked like it's still bothering him. They probably should have played preseason and get more in sync, or they probably should have just rested him and let Penix start for like the first few weeks or so. So we're going to have to see what they got with that. But right now, it's looking like they're going to go 0-2 because I damn sure can't see them beating Philadelphia at Philly house. And the Bucks, who do they play next week?
Oh man, that's a great one, bro. I'm lost on it. I want to say I think they play the Giants, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh man,
I could be mistaken on that.
Let me go ahead and look up their schedule right now. If they play the Giants, they damn sure going 2-0. We definitely, if the Saints want to keep up, they definitely going to have to go up and then beat the Cowboys.
No, my bad. They play do they play the Lions next week?
I think they do play the Lions. Let me see.
Yeah, I think they play the Lions next week.
Buccaneers schedule. Okay. Yeah, they play the Lions. Yeah, all right. So we got a tough game and we got a tough game. But
with that being said, man, if the Saints could find some kind of way to pull off the miracle, man, like it would be crazy to have that kind of a lead.
Yeah. And look, the Falcons, the Falcons' next 3 games is at the Eagles, then it's the Chiefs, and then it's the Saints. And then I think they got somebody else, tough right after us. So they got Murder's Row very early. They really kind of had it out the gate. Now, when they lost to the Steelers, one thing I will say, just 2 years ago, we played the Steelers, and Kenny Pickett was looking like some shit, and we still lost. Like, that's a Hall of Fame coach. And T.J. Watt is the best pass rusher in the league. You got the best pass rusher, and you in shotgun with Kirk Cousins being a statue, and he's not fully healthy. Like, I don't really I mean, I could see how they lost that game because everybody's saying it like the Steelers are trash. Like, yeah, they not the same Steelers when they had Antonio Brown and Big Ben, but at the same time, they struggled and they still got 10 wins last year. Like I say, Hall of Fame head coach, never had a losing season. So, like I say, 2 years ago, like Najee Harris ran all over us and Kenny Pickett was, willing and dealing. So, it's just week 1. Like, it's just week 1, Let's see. Damn, boy, we got a Cowboys fan up in here, boy. He talking this cash money stuff right now. But we're going to have to see, bro. We're going to have to see. Yeah. I think that
I just have one question. How old is this Cowboy fan? If you don't mind, just post your age. Post your age and tell me how old you are.
Post your age, Melvin.
Just say how old you are, Mel. That's all, fam. Just want to know how old you are.
Let's see. Lou says, why some of our fans got to wait to get in the car? Get the jump in right now, I guess. I guess he's talking about the people who are going to be bandwagons and wait till us start winning and stuff. I don't know. What you
That's me. I'll be fair. I'll be fair weather. I'll be bandwagon. I'll be on the fence. Whatever terminology you want to use. That's me. I'm not going to believe until I have a reason to, because I've seen this movie before. Yeah, I know how it ends.
Yeah, I've seen it before too. Like they gotta show me. Like they gotta understand. Like I'm a fan that was scoring. I'm a scoring fan. Like Like they say, hell have no fear versus a scorn with a scorn woman. Shoe, hell have no fear with a scorn fan like me. Them people hurt me. They hurt me with that Josh Dobbs loss, and ever since then, I said they're gonna have to really show me, and they got a lot to overcome. Like, the road to redemption is patterns of success, and they got to show me some patterns. They got to show me some patterns, bro.
I've never been a type of dude that want to police fans. I've had a wait and see approach. I ain't dealing with them until I see differently, whatever it may be. But you can't police me as a fan because let me not say 90%, a large portion of the fan base only watches the games on TV. I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm saying it's a real thing. Most fans don't attend the games. They watch them at home. I've spent my money not only watching the Saints in America in different sections of the country, but I've also been abroad to watch them play. You can't call me whatever type of fan you want to label me as until you match what I do. So I have the right to be able to say whatever the hell I want because I spend my money on it. This year I'm not. They got to give me tickets to go to the game. But other than that, nah, let me be.
Yeah,
and I still ain't seen Melvin pop back up with his age yet.
You got people asking him, "What's your age, Melvin?" Lou says, "We had 9 consecutive scoring drives last week. That's not a pattern."
Who they had it against?
Yeah, context matters, man. This same bad team that was 9-8 last year put up 48 points on a bad Atlanta Falcons team, and I don't want to hear that. Oh, the Atlanta wasn't playing for nothing. I don't want to hear that. At the end of the day, like y'all say, they all professionals, right? Look at that. Jerry says, I think Melvin is around my age, 40. I don't know.
I'm trying to find out. Mel don't want to talk now. He came in the chat, wanted to say with his little cowboy piece. Don't tell me he did what they normally do, throw a rock and run.
All right, let's see. Facts. Fans are too hyped for this Panthers win. And you got him saying, who else put a 47 on them? It don't matter. I mean, I really think that Baker Mayfield would have probably did.
Wait a second. Who else put up 47 on them? Was it week 1 or no? Who the hell else did they play?
Yeah, man. This is the same team that won 2 games last year. I looked at the Panthers schedule. I looked at their schedule. Duh, I kid you not. I found it very hard to have 5 wins. I got them with maybe 4 wins. And that was being generous. Maybe 4 wins. I think Bryce Young could bust. I think Bryce Young not even better than Jake Hayner or Spence Rattler. I don't even know if he's better than Taysom. I think he gonna be looking like Ian Book. He gonna be looking like Ian Book touring around the league. Even before he played, I ain't saying that because everything happened. Before he played, I was looking at him. I said, man, this dude might be a little bit too small for the NFL. Throwing it in these NFL windows is very different in college. Scrambling in the NFL is way different in college. These defensive ends and all that, the timing, all that stuff is very much different. Him being behind these big old large guards and his center, that's hard right there. That's why he couldn't make a lot of them throws downfield that a lot of other quarterbacks probably would have made. That's just me. I think he's gonna be a bust. He got to prove me wrong.
I think he's already to the point to where he's seeing shit that ain't there. So I think it's almost like he's almost broken. I remember that happened with David Carr when he came into the league, man. Like he had got hit so much and sacked so much throughout the first couple of years. By the time he actually found a coach that can work with him, he was too far gone. I think that's what's gonna happen with Bryce. I think he's getting beat up too much out there. And to bench him is gonna make him lose everything because you told me you was gonna build around me. So now you want to bench me because the team around me ain't good either. I don't know. I think Bryce in trouble, man. I think he in a lot of trouble.
It sounds like y'all saying the win was more of the Panthers being bad than the Saints being good, which is unfair. Hey, man. I mean, I credit them for the beatdown, but I don't credit them for the win. Like, you supposed to go up in there and win. But for the beatdown that we gave them, I do credit them that because, like I say, fashion matters to me. Bryan, that's what Cowboys fans do. They talk their noise, and Saints fans and ask them one question, they get quiet as church mice. Ask them Falcons fans. T Dirty says, me too, they really got to show me. Some of these fans are just clueless. Hey, man, like, however y'all want to fan, y'all can fan. Don't let me rain on y'all parade because I still got, to be shown more. Like, just because I got to be shown more, don't let me rain on y'all parade enjoying that win. Because if I was on the other side, I wouldn't let nobody. Well, I can't say that because I used to get triggered too. I can't say that because I used to get triggered too, boy. But just try not to let nobody rain. Enjoy this win, man. Enjoy this win. And if we go out
I think the problem is too many fans want fans to be fans like they're a fan. If you want to fan out and walk into that dressed like one of the super fans, they got the Pope, they got Sir Saint and all of that stuff. They got the one that dressed up with the boxing gloves, man. It's like you got all these different people. Soul Saint, that's his name. You and the clown, they got what's the boy? They got the Joker. They got all these people. You want to dress up and be a super fan, the whistle dude? Like, go do that. Just let me be a fan my way. I'm not sunshine and roses. I'm not the dude that's gonna dress up in a Saints Batman outfit. That ain't me. Let me be me. It works for me. I don't come over there and try to knock the pom poms out of your hand. Let me be, pessimistic, or if that's what you want to call it, wait and see, realistic, whatever you want to label it as. I'm gonna let you be delusional. Just let me be me.
Yeah, man, we all had our predictions for this team. Like, some people had us at 10 plus wins. Some people had us right in the middle around 8 wins. Some people had us around, below 8 and around 7 wins. So everybody got their predictions. Now, stuff going to change accordingly throughout the season. Me personally, we was supposed to beat the Panthers. So just because we beat the Panthers in dominant fashion, it's not going to make me change my tune. They got to show me. They got to go beat the team that's good, and not just beat one of them. They got to go beat both of them for me to say, okay, yeah, man, this team has turned the corner. They turned over a new leaf. Maybe we could get something cooking now. Instead of 8 wins, and 9 losses, maybe I'll give them 10 wins. 10 wins should be able to beat win the division, especially if the Buccaneers take a landslide, because I ain't gonna lie, they cooking right now. But other than that, I feel like whatever team could get 10 wins, they should be able to win this division.
Here's a caveat I'm gonna throw out there. This is how Dennis Allen can win me over without having a winning season. I only ask for a few things. One, for all intents and purposes, sweep the division. If you lose the last game of the season in Carolina, I ain't mad at that. But beat Atlanta, beat Tampa, beat the Cowboys, and not only beat the Broncos, drag your nuts on Sean Payton. You want me to change my opinion of you. What's very problematic is Dennis Allen was the same person that said never apologize for winning in the NFL. Don't believe me? Go look at the clip. It's out there. He said never apologizing because winning in the NFL is hard. Then he apologized to Arthur Smith for basically busting his ass. I don't care if it was a last-second touchdown. I don't care. He apologized for winning, and I don't like it. So if you really want to change my opinion of you, drag Sean Payton. Drag him. Now, if you got him down, don't just have him down. Run a score up on him, because if Sean got you like that, he'll damn sure do it to you. So if you really want to change the imagery, beat the Broncos and beat them bad. So that's all I ask is for those things. Sweep the division, because I cannot stand Falcons fans, and I hate the Bucs fans because Bucs fans want to be relevant when ain't nobody paying attention to them. I don't like Cowboys or their fans. Sorry, not sorry. And the Broncos, that one there just makes me feel good because I know Sean would do it to you. If you can do those things, the Dennis Allen could have a 7-10 season or a 6-11 season, and I'll still say bring him back next year. Don't fire him. Bring him back. He building.
Yeah, he's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot for me to get him to be brought back. For me, he gotta win 2 playoff games. He could win 2 playoff games, then fine. We headed in the right direction. The only bad thing about that, we win 2 playoff games. That tells me that Clint Kubiak did a hell of a job with this offense, and that's going to more than likely have him have a head coaching job. Will he stay with us and be offensive coordinator again? Maybe he'll pull a Ben Johnson. I don't know, but if he leave, we're gonna have to figure out something and find somebody else and do this all over again. And we don't hit on the next guy like we hit on him, because just because you're gonna be running this modern style offense, don't mean you're gonna call the right plays at the right time. Don't mean you're gonna be a good play caller. So we're gonna be right back in the same boat with Dennis Allen as head coach. And not only that, we'll have him at head coach with possibility of a lot of these locker room leaders out the door. That's why I think they extended a lot of these quote unquote, well, I can say quote unquote, but these locker room leaders, because I think that's helping fill Dennis Allen void of being a leader of men. So once they retire in a year or two, the Taysums, the DeMario Davis, the Tyrann Matthews, the AKs, the Shawns, like once they retire or move on to another team in a year or two, if Dennis Allen can't win with a veteran team, do you trust Dennis Allen that winning with a full rebuild if he can't win with a soft rebuild? Hey, that's my only thing. And then he said on one of the press conferences, like, yeah, man, a lot of people ain't was high on us, but they seen what happened today, and maybe they'll change their tune. He said something along them lines, but I thought this was the same man who said he don't listen to the outside noise, which is the man responsible for the outside noise in the first place. So I just find that. But if y'all got any questions, man, go ahead on and put it down in the chat. We ain't gonna keep Bryan here too much longer. We're gonna let him go. He's at work right now. So if y'all got any questions, put it down in the chat right now. We're gonna get to it as soon as possible before we let him go up out of here, man. We got Millie asked, y'all think the Saints have what it takes to beat Mahomes? Because that's what's next after. Hopefully we could beat the Eagles.
I'm gonna say this. Do I think the Saints can beat them? Sure. Do I think they will beat them? No. And it's not even because of the Chiefs being the Chiefs. I think timing is everything. I think if the Saints would have played the Chiefs in week 1, I think it would have been a closer game. I think you're giving the Chiefs too much time to get their rhythm. And like if you catch them early, they don't have it. So catching them week 1, week 2 is a hell of a lot different than catching them week 5 and week 6. And I think that's the difference. And I also think playing in Arrowhead is hard, man. Arrowhead be having it rocking, man. So I think it's a harder venue to play in, but I don't think it's an impossible game to win. I just think it's an unlikely game. Like, I don't know if the Saints can score enough points to stay with Kansas City. And there's only so.
What'd you say, Bryan?
I said it's only so long you can figure Andy Reid out before it's too late. I'm like, some coaches just like they are the cheat code. Andy Reid is one of them.
Well, we finally got Melvin answered your question. He said he's 51, and we got T Dirty. He says UNLV Sean Payton drag him through the river.
Wait, I'm sorry. What it was?
I said we finally got Melvin. He answered your question. He says he's 51, and we got T Dirty says UNLV Sean Payton drag him through the river.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, man.
So I asked Melvin how old he was because I wanted to find out if he's 51. Then I'm putting this out as a guess, Melvin. So if I'm incorrect on this, forgive me. But I'm gonna guess Melvin is a 51-year-old male with children. Melvin, if you have a child, then it's very likely, because the Cowboys have not won a championship in what I believe now is 28 years. Then that means you got a long, and I mean a long history of losing to where your children don't even know the Cowboys won a championship except for them dusty-ass trophies y'all keep talking about that happened way back in the 90s. If I'm not mistaken, the last championship was in 1996. So there's that. If the math is math, then that means it's been 28 years since the Cowboys have won a championship. That means you don't even have a child that knows y'all won.
Yeah, man. That's all the way back in time, bro. That's all the way back in time. Historical team.
I mean, all
right. We got another question.
The Cowboys' last one. Trophies ain't even dusty no more.
We got another question from Louis Ortiz. He says, what's your biggest weakness? I guess he's saying, what's the Saints' biggest weakness?
Saints' biggest weakness? Offensive line and pass rush. They go hand in hand. The trenches is our biggest weaknesses.
We got Dana said they still had those bulky TVs last time the Cowboys won. The ones you got to hit on the side, Dana, you got to put that aluminum foil on them. Y'all know you had the nigga rig, the goddamn remotes and all type of shit for them TVs. But yeah, man. We got Jawan Walker says stop talking about the past, and Jawan Walker talking about they're gonna beat us 41-10. 41-10 Cowboys. This must be another Cowboys fan up in here. They evading. I don't know. They must came from your page, Bryan.
I don't know, bro. I try not to deal with delusional people.
Yeah, man. Well, shit, I'm gonna go ahead on and let you get up out of here, Brian. You got anything else you want to shed light on when it comes to the Saints versus Cowboys game coming up Sunday?
No, man, it's just an interesting matchup. I'm willing to look, sit down, give it a chance before I say one way or the other. But I mean, if I had to guess right now, I'm gonna say, man, I'm gonna think the Cowboys to win this one, in, not in blowout fashion for them. So it ain't gonna be no 41-10. I'm pretty sure of that. But until the Saints prove to me they can beat the good teams, I don't see it happening. If they do, then I guess I'll put my black and gold goggles on, wave my pom-poms, get me a custom-made Derek Carr jersey and shit like that and run with it.
Yeah, we got the two Cowboys trying to get the last word up in here before I end the stream, talking about something. You saw what the Cowboys did to Cleveland. Then we got Melvin talking about shout out to Drew Brees, legendary. Since then, y'all been boo-boo. Go boys. Hey, man, we got to see what's going to happen, bro. They got the Cowboys fans, like Jerry said, they coming out like roaches, boy. We're going to have to see, man. I think y'all going to win, too, but, what y'all going to do in the playoff? That's all I want to know. Like, y'all probably guaranteed a playoff spot, but what y'all going to do when y'all get there? I know y'all don't want to see Green Bay. I know y'all don't want to see the 49ers. So, I like Stephen A. Smith say, I like the build-up. I like the rounds up just to see them fall down. I like that because every year it's the same story. Every year. But I'm gonna let you get up out of here, B, man. Thanks for coming on the stream, bro.
That's what's up, fam. Appreciate your patience, you heard me?
All right, man. Go be safe on that road, bro.
That's what's up, fam. I got it.
All right. Yeah, man. Shout out to Bryan, man. Always coming up in here with the good takes he be giving, bro. Got a lot of knowledge on the game, man. Got Wallace up in here. What up, Wallace? Wallace says 28-14 Saints. Yeah, man, they up in here right now, Wallace. All the Cowboys fans, they up in here talking. They talk right now. They bigging up their chest. The moment the Cowboys go to the NFC Championship, then I'll be a believer they'll win the Super Bowl. I don't think they're gonna get to the NFC Championship, Bruce Saint. Like, I really think they have a tough time in the playoffs. I think the lights be bright for Dak. I think the lights be bright for Mike McCarthy, and it just is matchups, bro. I think the Cowboys, they don't really match up well when it comes to the 49ers. And sometimes a team just got your number. When a team got your number, I don't care what nobody say. That kind of be in the back of your conscience. Like, you going into this game and you just feeling like you the underdog, or you feeling like you lost before you even stepped on the field. So I think they be thinking about that when they go play the 49ers, or thinking about that when they go play the Packers. So we're going to have to see, man. We got Wallace up in here talking this talk. Yeah, man, it's gonna be a good game, bro. It's gonna be a defensive slugfest. I think the Cowboys probably win. I'm gonna say like 24-14. Like, I'm gonna say something like that, 24-17. But if the Saints could beat the Cowboys, the Saints heading in the right direction. The Saints could beat the Eagles. Oh shoot, they done made me a believer. Because right now they gotta show me they could beat the good teams consistently. On the road to redemption for Dennis Allen and Derek Carr, I got to see patterns of success versus the successful teams that's poised for playoff contention. That's what I got to see. I can't stress that enough. All right, let's see. Man, the Saints not losing to none of them weak-ass teams, man. They going to have to show me, man. Let's see, man. Shanahan, can he beat Zimmer defense? Shanahan can't beat Zimmer defense. Oh, shoot. Well, we're going to have to see, man. We're going to have to see. To be honest, Dak Foles under pressure. Our defense is hella good. Hey, I think Derek Carr and I think Dak Prescott. I would have said they almost in the same tier, but I can't say that. I think Dak Prescott is like a little bit above Derek Carr. I think Dak Prescott, he kind of in that Matthew Stafford type of tier. Like, he's not just that better than Derek Carr, but he's like a step above Derek Carr. They got the Dak Prescott and the Matt Stafford. Then below that, they got your Derek Carrs, but on top of them, they got your cream of the crop quarterbacks, your Lamar Jacksons, your Joe Burrows, your Patrick Mahomes. They got them. And some people even argue Patrick Mahomes is in another stratosphere all by himself. T Dirty say he gonna have that liquor on deck. Yeah, man. I know you be cooking during the games too, T Dirty, man. You got to go live while you cooking, bro. At least, I know you want to stay in tune with the game. Just go live before the game come on, man, and show like a pre-show you cooking and all that, getting your food ready, getting ready to barbecue, having a liquor, having all the 6-packs on deck, man. Just show everybody like a little snippet of you getting ready for your games on game days, because I know you one of them fans that take a lot of pride, in game days on Sundays, and you spend time with the family and all that. And Me, I respect, man. I respect that. That's what it's all about right there. All about that traditions, man. Uh, but all in all, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead on and get ready to end the stream. This was a lot of fun right here, But I'm gonna go ahead on and end this stream right now. We probably be back with another stream tomorrow or on Thursday, but it's gonna be a fun matchup, man. I can't wait to watch the game. I can't wait to do my reaction to the game, in the post game preview. Let's go ahead on, and we're gonna have to just see what happens. Wait and see approach. Well, if you me, wait and see approach. But if you just optimistic and you think we about to go up in there and dog walk them Cowboys, sure, I ain't mad at you, man. Keep up the faith, bro. But until next time, man, y'all be safe out there, and who that, man. Be sure y'all hit that like button. And so go ahead on and subscribe to it. Got to get my little YouTuber on before I end this stream.